Bring in now Pittsburgh criminal defense attorney Bob Del Greco to dive deeper into this Chauvin verdict. Bob, thanks for joining us. What was your reaction when you heard the verdict this evening?
My reaction was, and my reaction always is, that justice occurs when a prosecutor files the appropriate charges that he thinks he can prove, marshals the evidence, that the defendant, in all cases, has a good defense attorney, a zealous defense attorney, that a seasoned jurist makes evidentiary rulings with regard to the law, and that there is a fair and impartial jury who renders a verdict. That's the way our system was designed, and anytime that occurs, those four factors converge, justice occurs.
And Bob, this was a case that saw 3 weeks of testimony, 45
Right.
witnesses taking the stand, and you had a jury that deliberated really less than a day and a half, 10 hours total. What kind of message does that send?
I think the message is that I think this jury took more of a macro view versus getting into the minutia, the legalese on matters. And as I've been on record as saying, this case came down to the video. You know, they say, you know, a picture's worth 1,000 words and a video's worth 1,000 pictures. And so that video was strong evidence, was probative evidence, and I think the case could probably be distilled down to that. And at some point, I'm assuming that jurors determined that they did not need to get into the whole of minutia of what every witness said, what the experts said. This was a common sense verdict rendered expeditiously, in my opinion.
So the most serious charge was second-degree murder, which carries up to 40 years in prison.
Right.
What are your thoughts about how much of that time Derek Chauvin might actually be sentenced to serve?
Well, it's an interesting question because in Minnesota, the sentences can run concurrently. That is, one after another as opposed to consecutive, and that will be in Judge Cahill's discretion. The presumptive sentence for the second-degree murder is 12 and a half years. However, in this case, the government has charged with a couple aggravating factors. One is that George Floyd was treated with particular cruelty, and the other was that a child was present. Recall that two of the witnesses that testified were 17 and one was 9 years old. Now, Mr. Chauvin waived his right to have a jury consider whether or not those factors are in play, and so Judge Cahill will be charged with the duty of determining if those aggravating factors were proved beyond a reasonable doubt. If they were, the sentence can be substantially enhanced almost to the point of the statutory limit within the second-degree charge is 40 years. With regard to the third-degree murder charge is 25 years, and the manslaughter 10. So depending upon how those aggravating factors are played into this, I would suspect that Derek Chauvin is looking at a substantial sentence.
Bob, thank you so much. Criminal defense attorney Bob Del Greco, we appreciate your time this evening.